Hello ladies and gents, this is another video brought to you by Ants Hood. This is another update on my Nicobarensis. I've not featured them for a little while, but they're definitely overdue an update because they've been at it again. They never stop, always causing mischief.
Now you're probably asking yourself, what have they done now, Hood? What are they up to? They're up to their old tricks again. They're trying to get out again. Now if you look at this, you can see that there's like less than 1 millimetre of cotton wool before they just managed to breach it. Luckily I checked it just at the right point, otherwise I'd have a load of escapees again. And just in case you're not familiar with my colony of Nicobarensis, there's a video in the top right corner where they got out, chewing through plastic I might add. You might ask yourself, why have I got cotton wool there and not a stopper? Now if you can see here, there's a wire going into it because one of my probes checking the temperature of the outworlds up there. And this is the Ant Canada outworld as well, which isn't great to be fair. Those of you that know my setup for my Nicos, or if you don't, check out the video in the top right now. They've got the Ant Canada outworld up on the shelf here, where I don't really see it a lot, so I was just lucky to catch it when I did. But as you can see from the photo, there's a lot of ants in that tubing, and it was a right pain to disconnect it without them all getting out everywhere. And when I pulled it down, I noticed something, because I had a good look at it, apart from being very dirty up there, but I generally don't feed in there, so I think they kind of was using it for their trash area as well, but not excessively. But if you look to the left here, you'll see it's quite dark. Now the reason that's dark compared to the rest of it is because when I put springtails in, they were in dark soil, so I just dumped them in the corner and thought nothing of it. But what I did notice is there was a lot of ants there. And as you can see here, they've used it as a graveyard. And I always thought that the graveyard was in the outworld that I feed them, because if you look at this picture here, you'll see that there's lots of like heads and torsos and bits and bobs where they cut up dead ants and stuff like that. But no, they've been moving all of their large whole ants. I don't know why they cut them up, to be fair, probably because they eat them, I don't know, but up into this graveyard. And the graveyard is huge. I've got no idea how long it's been since I did my last video where I moved them up there and I stopped paying attention to it as much, but it's a couple of months at least, and there's just a mass of dead ants. Now you might ask yourself, Hood, are you not concerned that you've got a massive pile of dead ants? And the answer is no, I'm not at all. And the reason for that is because it's been up there for a while, and I just think this is their graveyard. Now, like I said, I did think it was the outworld that I feed them in, because I'm always hoovering up, and I clean it regularly by the way, always hoovering up bits of ants and stuff like that, which they've cut to pieces and dumped in there. But here, I just didn't clock it because of the soil being dark underneath it. And I'm not concerned by it because I've still got a healthy population of ants, and I just think it's just a build-up over a period of time. I'm a little bit concerned about their brood, but I'll talk about that in a second. But this I wasn't too fussed about, so wasn't concerned, but I obviously needed to clean it up. And as you can see here from when I fast forward it now, is I had quite a problem bloody cleaning them out, because I was getting on the end of my forceps, or getting on my hands, and I was constantly, here you go, as you can see here, messing around with it. But anyway, I'll speed it up now. Now as I was like going cleaning, you can see it's quite thick, and there is a lot of ants, and I'll show you the pile that I took out afterwards. But they've also been using it for their trash. As you can see, there's leftover food bits there as well. I don't know why I didn't pick up on it, I really don't, to be fair. It was just well camouflaged, I think. That was a big chunk of ants. This is what I took out in the end, and there was just loads of ants, and it's all mainly made up of dead ants as well. If you look at this video here where I zoomed in closer, you can see there is other detritus in there as well, but generally speaking, it is all dead ants. Thousands upon thousands of dead ants. I was also keeping an eye out for any resemblance of my queens as well. And you might say, what, your queens? I lose them, to be honest. I can't find them sometimes, and at the moment I can't find them. They just disappear. I keep seeing one queen which is in the newer nest, but the one that used to lurk in the old nest, I can't find her full of my money. So I was just keeping an eye out to make sure she wasn't in this pile, and I didn't see her luckily. Now I don't think she's dead, I just think she's playing hide and seek. I also seen that my Ant Canada hydration tray was disgusting, as you can see here, and when I took it off of the nest I didn't expect to see this. It was just all the rubbish from the ants had got through the hydration vents and made it all horrible and gunky, so I took that out and cleaned that as well. But just a note, if you've got this nest, I do love them despite what people say. I think they're great. Just make sure you keep an eye on it, because that was disgusting and it shocked me. Oh, and just so you know, I didn't forget to sort out the cotton wool either. I did push it back in. I'll just give you a bit of an update on how the colony's going, and a bit of a disclaimer. This was filmed before I found my grave and the dirty tray at top, as you can see as well. Now the test tube's full of water. That is a big test tube. I mean, it's huge, and that only lasted them about a week before they sucked that dry as well. This is what I was talking about, this outworld where I feed them being the graveyard as well, because you can see bits of cut up ants like the heads, the abdomens and stuff like that. Why they cut them up, I don't know. I think they're probably eating them. Haven't got a Scoobies. Why in the big graveyard are the whole ants? Yet again, I just couldn't tell you. This is the second outworld, which is where I give them most of their honey water, and this, as you'll see in a second, is the feeder that I'm working on, and it works great for my Nicobarensis, so it should work for most ants because they're quite big. I don't know why they hang out a lot in here. As you can see here, it's rammed full of ants. Sorry about the blurry image, these glass isn't too clean, but they're rammed full of ants here. I've got elites in here as well. I kind of feel like they're using this as a nest, which means I probably need to adjust the temperature a little bit. I don't quite know. Look, a bit of dirt. I think that's a barrier that I've splashed on there when doing something else. Yeah, probably. Anyway, yeah, I think they're using this as more of a nest because I've got elites in here now, and I don't see any brood and stuff like that, but they definitely love chilling out in here. It's a bit of a pain to clean out, to be fair, but it is what it is. And as always, they're always in the tubes. As you know from myself previously when I've done videos, I've got them everywhere, and I've got elites hanging out in here as well. Sometimes I see brood in here, sometimes not, but I'm about to go onto my nests where I've got my concerns. Now this is what's concerning me, and not because it's dirty by the nest, because I'd like to point out I have cleaned it up now, okay, so don't worry, it is clean, but I've got a dirty area. I normally keep it clean as well. I don't know what was going on with me, probably because I broke my arms and I couldn't do it. Anyway, I'm digressing again. If you look at the nest, you'll see that I've got lots of young larvae and eggs and stuff like that, which is good news. But one thing that is very absent from both nests, which you'll see in the other one in a second, is pupae or cocoons. I can't find them anywhere. I've got loads of elites everywhere, which is brilliant because it's showing my colony is developing, it's steady and it's well established. But equally, they take resources. Now, let's be honest, they're not in the wild, it's not going to be a massive issue, it just means I have to feed them more, which is fine because I'll give these whatever they want, and if I can get a colony that's 10,000 strong, I'll be super happy. At the moment, I think I'm pushing about 3,000. I have to slow it down because it's so brief, but you can see one of the queens just there when I first take it off, and when I was panning around, this is post-editing obviously, I noticed that the second queen's in here as well, which is yet again unusual because there she is. It's unusual because, as I said before in my other videos, the queens don't mix together. They generally keep apart, but they've both moved into this nest. Why? I don't know. But yet again, my colony seems to be doing fine, apart from the brood, which as you can see from this video of this nest here, I've got no pupae at all, and I've got very little brood in here as well, to be fair. I have got some, but not a great deal. So I am slightly concerned I'm going to still have that die-off, which is yet to happen. But I'm quite content with the fact that I'm still looking at around 3,000 workers. If you guys got revised figures because you're super mathematical people that can work out the space, the amount of ants that I've got per square inch, whatever, great, cool, leave a message, but I'm not that clever. I'm not that clever at all. But this is the nest. You can see the graveyard there again. I completely missed it. I don't know what's going on with me. These are one of my new feeders that I'm developing as well, which I tested on my Nicobarensis and they work fine, as I said before. But all in all, I'm still quite happy with my colony, just worried about a die-off still yet to come. Even though I am concerned about this die-off, they still have this insatiable appetite for protein. Now, this is a fluffy, which is a larger sized baby mouse, and as you can see here, they swarm it and they just go to work on dismantling it. So even though they haven't quite got that brood development up to the point of where they had previously with all stages, they obviously still hungry for protein because they annihilate this. After this next video, I'll show you a picture of what's left of the, or a video even, of what's left of the actual mouse after they've done their work on it, as it were. But I love watching them dismantle it. I love watching how the workers peel back the skin, exposing the inside, and the workers go to town on it. And this is such a great quality video as well. It's absolutely brilliant. This goes on for 7 minutes. I've speeded it up to give you a perspective of time. I think it's also important that I do remember for myself as well what time of the year it is. It is winter, we're in the middle of winter, and I think it's more of the queen is taking a break from laying eggs. Both of them are taking a break from laying eggs. excuse me, which is why I haven't got that brood development that I normally have. And let's just hope there is that, and then they start picking up and they start exploding in numbers again, because if I can get to like 10,000 workers, I'll be so happy. It'll be so cool. But anyway, I'll show you, this is what the ants have done to the mouse, what's left of it, and there's not a lot left. Unlike the pinkies, they can't get through the bone and don't take the bone away, but they still go to town on it because that big head in the top of its skull where they've got into the brain cavity. Now they do tend to leave the content of their intestines alone. Now I think that's because they don't like the milk that they're fed on by the mother. But as you can see from everything else, it's gone. All the meat's gone. They've had everything out of it they want. The eyes, the soft tissue. It's just the intestines that they tend to leave. I can't see if the lungs and stuff have gone, but I think they have as well. I think it just looks that way. I just think it's just they don't like the intestines and what's in them, which is fair enough. You know, we don't have to like everything. Big thanks to you guys, my fans as well, because I had such a good positive feedback from my ideas about 3D products and stuff like that. If you do want my feeding trays, because I'm not going to bring them out to the end of the month when I've got the bottles arrived, so I can send them as a complete unit, but if you are desperate for a replacement for your Biformica jars, by all means go onto my Ants Hood Facebook group, go onto my Instagram, which is #AntsHood, and message me there, and I'll quite happily sell you just the trays if you want them. I can sell you as many as you like, or a small amount as you like. I really don't mind, but let me know, drop me a message. But anyway, that's it for today then, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I look forward to seeing you in my next one, and bye-bye for now.